welcome to Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. My name is Julie and I'm here to impart some knowledge to you today via a 2-minute art tip. And today we're going to be talking about brushes. Yes, we've talked about brush care and maintenance and all this kind of stuff. But I thought maybe it would be helpful when we're talking about like shopping for brushes if you knew a little bit more about their anatomy and how they're constructed, because it might do well for you in terms of how you make decisions about your next brush purchase. So I wanted to show you a couple things about basic brush anatomy that you might find helpful moving forward. One thing is that, here's the basic parts. Yes, this is the handle, this is the ferrule, and then this is the brush head or the tuft. Now, where ferrules are concerned, seamless nickel are like the most preferred. And what I mean by seamless is that, like, for instance, this is just basically like a tube that fits over the handle and the brush head. In other instances, you may have like a seamed ferrule, like this large wash brush, because a tube doesn't work. And you have like a little intersection right here. The reason that seamless ones are wonderful is because this allows water to come in via the side. It doesn't matter how tight that seam is, it's always going to be like a little bit of a weak spot. So a seamless nickel ferrule is really, really wonderful because it reduces the amount of water and paint that can seep in and then damage the handle. Nickel is great because it's really resistant to exposure to water, so if you leave it sitting in your wash water a long time. It's also like pretty immune to solvents and stuff like that, so it's super, super tough, it's lightweight, and it's crazy durable. The other thing you need to know about is when you're selecting brushes, if you have a bad habit of leaving brushes in your wash water, you may just want to go ahead and accept that's part of your personality and just go ahead and get brushes that have plastic handles exclusively. Because if you're leaving your brushes sitting in the soup, what happens is that the brush head serves as like a wick, and it actually wicks moisture up into the ferrule and then will start to affect the wood that's up here, and if you're leaving it way in the wash water, you're going to have water that seeped in right around here. And then what happens is this wooden handle will swell and then like get really, really big. It'll stretch out your ferrule, it'll crack the paint, and then when it dries back out, it'll shrink back down again. Your ferrule will get loose and the paint chips off. So if you're somebody who just can't seem to help themselves and break that habit, plastic handles are probably a better bet because you're going to have a little bit more resistance to that kind of bad habit. The other thing that you might not know about brushes is that the brush head or the tuft is actually much, much larger in a really good quality brush than you would anticipate. Now, granted, if it's a cheapo and you're looking at it on the shelf, you're not going to know this, practically speaking. But I can tell you from experience that if you're talking about consistently low price brands, and you can be familiar with which ones I'm talking about, construction is generally where that cost savings is found, okay? And then how that price point generally comes down, because the way that they are saving money is the way that they assemble and the materials that they're using and the way that they put this together. They're saving money on the construction, passing on that savings to you, but in terms of long-term viability, it suffers because there are a couple of factors that they're doing that the higher price brands and the more well-built brands always do. One is that the brush head or the tuft actually resides all the way down here. So you have hair that's actually this long. It's not just this part right here. Now in the lower price point brands, you'll find that this brush head is actually much shorter. So you kind of been faked out by how much hair is in there and stuff like that. The other thing is that a well-crafted brush will be hand tufted and assembled, so it'll be shaped, and then it will actually have a hand tie at the base where they actually like tie it with a string. Then that whole tied tuft will be dipped into an adhesive, which means that that whole brush head, the tuft, is actually fused together at the base. Then when they assemble the brush, the brush head is actually in contact with the handle up here to keep it from moving around. And then when they put the ferrule on, all those things just kind of get fused together into one piece, which means that in terms of its behavior and how it works and how it lasts is much, much better. In the lower price brands, you'll find that, you know, the brush head, the tuft is shorter. They're not tying them. They'll just be like spot glued and stuff like that, which means that when you get water and paint and solvent up in there, it dissolves that little bit of glue and then the hairs start falling out. You're not sure why. You don't know what's going on. So these are just some simple tips that we wanted to let you know about brush anatomy to help you when you're shopping for the best art stuff around right here at Cheap Joe's Art Stuff, and we hope that you enjoy.